When my wife Sarah first said the words open marriage, I actually laughed. I thought she was joking. We were sitting on the couch, half watching a romantic comedy where a couple decided to explore other people. I made a joke about how ridiculous that was, but she didn't laugh. She looked at me, serious, distant. Then she said, "No, Jake. I'm serious. I think we should try it." I froze. I tried to process what she just said, but my mind went completely blank. An open marriage? I asked, almost whispering. You mean, you want to have affairs with other people? She sighed, that long, tired sigh that always meant she had already made up her mind. It's not about that, she said softly. It's about feeling free. I feel like I've lost myself. Those words echoed in my head all night. Lost myself. We'd been married for 7 years. We'd built a home, shared dreams, planned for kids. I didn't understand how she could suddenly want something so reckless, so cold. That night, when she went to bed, I stayed on the couch staring at the dark TV screen, asking myself over and over, what did I do wrong? The following weeks were torture. Sarah started dressing differently, more revealing, more confident, more like someone single. Her phone became her new best friend. When I walked into a room, she would lock it or flip it upside down. At dinner one night, I asked quietly, "Is there someone already?" She didn't look up from her plate. After a long pause, she said, "It's not serious, but there is someone." I felt my heart drop. You know that kind of silence that feels like a bomb just went off inside your chest? That's what I felt. I wanted to scream, but I didn't. I just got up, washed my plate, and went to bed. That was the first night I truly realized I had lost her. A few days later, she came home smelling like someone else's cologne. I knew it. And for the first time in my life, I didn't argue. I didn't fight. I just told her calmly, "If an open marriage is what you want, Sarah, I'll give you exactly what you asked for." She blinked, surprised, maybe even relieved. She hugged me and said, "I knew you'd understand. This will make us stronger, Jake. Trust me." I didn't trust her, but I trusted life to show her the truth one day. From that moment, I stopped chasing her. I started chasing myself. I went back to the gym. I started eating healthy again, shaved my beard, got a haircut, bought new clothes. I stopped waiting for her texts and started focusing on the things I had forgotten, me. And somewhere along the way, life introduced me to Claire. It was a rainy Friday afternoon. I ducked into a small cafe to avoid getting drenched. The place smelled like roasted coffee and old books, quiet, warm, peaceful. That's where I saw her. Claire. She worked behind the counter, laughing softly with an older customer. There was something calm about her, like she wasn't trying to impress anyone. When it was my turn, she smiled and said, "You look like you've had a long day." I laughed for the first time in weeks. You have no idea. We talked. Just small talk. But it felt easy. I started visiting the cafe every other day. Not because I needed coffee, but because I needed that peace. One evening, she sat across from me during her break and said, "You always look like you're holding something heavy inside." I told her everything, about Sarah, the open marriage, the silence, the confusion. She listened without judging. No pity, no fake sympathy. Just quiet understanding. And that's how it started. We didn't plan anything. We didn't rush. But one evening she held my hand, looked me in the eye, and said, "You deserve someone who doesn't need to lose you to realize your worth." That sentence broke something inside me and healed something too. Meanwhile, Sarah's new freedom started to show cracks. She came home late, drunk, crying. She mumbled something about how the guy she was seeing stopped answering her texts. She looked at me through tears and said, "I think I made a mistake." I said nothing. I just handed her water and walked away. The next morning she tried to act normal. She cooked breakfast, smiled awkwardly, and said, "Maybe we should close the marriage again. Work on us." I looked at her, really looked, and for the first time I didn't see my wife. I saw a woman who destroyed what we had because she couldn't see its value. I said quietly, "Sarah, you open the door." I just walked through it. Her face turned pale. "There's someone else, isn't there?" she whispered. I nodded slowly. "There is." And she listens. Tears welled up in her eyes. I didn't think you'd actually move on, she said. I smiled faintly. Neither did I. But you gave me no choice. That day I left divorce papers on the table, already signed. You wanted freedom, I said. Now you have it. 6 months later, I ran into her at a grocery store. She looked different, thinner, tired. The spark she once had was gone. She saw me and froze. Then she smiled awkwardly. Jake, how are you? I smiled. Good. Really good. She looked at my basket, full of baby items and groceries for two. Her smile faded. So, it's serious? I nodded. It's love, Sarah. Real love. She bit her lip, her eyes glistening. Is she good to you? I smiled gently. She's kind. That's all I ever needed. Then she whispered, I hope she never asks you for what I did. I looked at her, really looked. She doesn't need to. She already knows what love means. And I walked away. No bitterness. No hate. Just peace. Thought balloon moral of the story. Be careful what you ask for, because you might just get it. Sarah wanted freedom, but she lost a man who would have walked through fire for her. I wanted loyalty, and I found it where I least expected it. Sometimes the best revenge isn't anger or shouting. It's peace, because nothing haunts a person more than seeing you happy without them. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more emotional stories about love, betrayal, and redemption.